Going to Manners and getting the hot Ghoulardi cup with the see-through bottom. Or when Ghoulardi started putting Flash Gordon cereals with his movies, you wouldn't be cool in school unless you went around giving everyone the Flash Gordon salute. Everybody in Cleveland was doing this to each other. The Ghoulardi show also introduced to us a guy who became somewhat of a hero to us kids. A character by the name of handsome, debonair, downstairs neighbor Jerry Kriegel. In the most shocking, controversial series of skits in Cleveland television history, Parma Place.
Handsome, debonair, downstairs neighbor Jerry Kriegel. You just sit right there. I'll turn the set on. It's about to start. Don't like to miss the opening of these. Oh, that's the best part.
Good evening, and welcome to all our friends in television land. And a special hello tonight to all our friends in Parma.
Yay! He got my letter.
Oh, he got your letter.
Yeah.
Did you send him? Oh, this is going to be a great show.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Parma Place put Parma on the map. Now, the people and kids of Parma, for the most part, loved it. But a small group of influential people in Parma wanted Parma Place off the air in a battle rage for 10 weeks. Finally, then Mayor Day, with a small group of complainers, won out. TV8 took Parma Place off the air. Now, even Parma Councilman Ron Model wrote his opinion openly that he enjoyed Parma Place and the publicity. Ernie was furious, but he soon turned his energy to other things, like making the Gilardi All-Stars the most popular group of amateur athletes around. One summer, playing 65 softball games. And you know, a lot of people forgot that Ernie did several skits as Ernie Anderson and used them in his Ghoulardi show. He almost always played a bumbling nerd who always came out on the short end of things.
I can honestly say that I vaguely remember Ernie Anderson doing skits. If you were a kid growing up when Ghoulardi was on, all you remember about the show was him yelling, "Hey group, cool it over there!"
What is that? Does this program go to Parma? Down with Bill Gordon. No, up with Bill Gordon. Bill Gordon played beautiful baseball out there. He was lousy. That's what I like. Pick it up so we can get a shot of it. Hey, Ghoulardi's too cool. He gets the poor cameraman, open up the box. See, they got a little shocker in there, babies. You're pretty tricky, right? You didn't catch Ghoulardi, I'll tell you that.
And like John said, Ghoulardi really had an impact on kids. In fact, during a personal appearance he made at Euclid Beach Park, a 13-year-old boy who idolized Ernie came dressed in an old gorilla costume that he found in a garbage can. The 13-year-old boy was named Ron Swede, destined to be heard again on Cleveland television. About 2.5 years after Ernie began his incredible reign as king of Cleveland television, I could sense him tiring of it. Now, Tim Conway was continuously striving to pull strings to get Ernie to Hollywood, and Ernie was doing fewer and less involved productions. But the TV audience never knew it, because Ghoulardi was still screaming, "Hey group, cool it over there with the boom booms," and still putting himself in the films, and still talking about Parma and Dorothy, and still knocking TV8 for its cheap movies. Ghoulardi's faithful viewers were sure that he would go on forever. And then, as quickly as he became the most popular TV star in Cleveland, he quit. It was over. The king was gone. Long live the king. Now, if you lived through the Ghoulardi era and actually remembered firsthand the incredible impact that he had on this market, it becomes very difficult to believe that he was only on the air for just 3.5 years. I mean, here we are, 25 years later, still talking about what Ghoulardi used to do. Incredible.
What I find equally hard to believe is the question many people ask of Chuck when they meet him. "Hey Chuck, whatever happened to Ghoulardi?"
Most people ask that question, which is really hard to believe now, because right now, Ernie Ghoulardi Anderson is a figure of national prominence in the network television and radio field. Whatever happened to Ghoulardi? We'll show you right after these commercials. apex of the entertainment field, world-famous tinsel town of the stars, home to the great and near great, the ultimate goal of all performers.
And we made it. Welcome back.
And what a great place this is to be.
And why are we here? Well, we ended our last segment with the most often asked question of Chuck. Whatever happened to Ghoulardi?
A question that absolutely amazes me because Ernie Anderson is as well known here as most TV and movie stars.
He has been on Carson, Letterman, and 2020. He's had numerous write-ups in local and national publications like USA Today.
Then why do people ask me whatever happened to Ghoulardi? If he's so famous, why don't we know it? Because you hardly ever see him.
But you hear him every day in the car on the radio.
And you even hear him when you watch TV. For many years now, while you've been watching ABC, you've heard this familiar voice.
Tonight, right after Perfect Strangers.
Oh, my, look at that.
It's the Saturday morning preview special hosted by Mr. Belvedere and Wesley.
You gotta watch.
And convicts who were steps away from the gas chamber are now free and living life after death row on an ABC News special. Then, an environmental alert. 2020 with the Environmental Police. Their job, busting those who dump medical wastes in our waters.
So cool over there, group.
And now the moment we have all been waiting for. After a 22-year absence, a Cleveland reunion now with our own living legend, Ghoulardi. Ernie Anderson lives in Studio City, California, in this 13-room house with his Cleveland-born wife, Edwina Goff Anderson, and 2 of his 9 children, 12 dogs, numerous cats, 3 horses, 4 ponies, and 2 mini horses. And as promised, here is Ghoulardi 1988.
Is it 88 already?
Yes.
When you're having a good time. Fly times.
And Ern, why do you think that Ghoulardi...
You can call me King.
King, why do you think that Ghoulardi was such a sensation?
I haven't the vaguest idea.
Now you said...
No, I think... Okay. I think probably it was a sensation because it was probably the first time in the history of television, that somebody came on and was honest and said, this is probably the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's all we got tonight, so it's it. Stick with it, hang in there. The honesty of the thing, I think, was probably it. And the fact that I was willing to cut some idols down a little bit, you know. Nobody would ever say anything about Dorothy Fullheim or those wonderful people. And, you know, you just didn't do that. You just didn't put a statue of Mike Douglas up. He was a big syndicated star. He had all these huge guests. He was Mr. Hollywood, and I used to throw darts at his paste cutout, you know. And, he didn't talk to me for a long time after that, incidentally, which shows you the type of person he was. He had no sense of humor, you know, none. But Dorothy did. I loved her. You know, she was a wonderful person.
What does Ernie Anderson do for fun?
Well, I don't know how much fun it is, but it's what I do. I follow my kids around. You know, I have 2 girls that ride horse shows, and a serious intent. You know, like my oldest daughter is going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in a couple of weeks, and she's going to Washington, D.C., and she's going to show in Madison Square Garden, which is big stuff, big time for that kind of thing. You know, you have to be invited, you have to qualify. And I go to horse shows all over the West Coast, from Arizona to San Diego, all the way up to Menlo and Monterey. And I do that, and that's kind of my weekends occasionally. And
Are you still a Browns fan?
Oh, yeah. We have the Southern California Browns Boosters Club firm. And you know they're from Cleveland, because the second letter I got from them, they said, we're organizing a bowling team. Would you like to get in the league and bowl? I said, they're from Cleveland. But it was fun.
What's in the future for Ernie Anderson?
Death.
Well, besides that, that's in the future for all of us. I'm talking about hopefully the immediate future and, you know, like maybe 10, 15 years from now.
Death. More death. No, really, I have no intention of leaving. As a matter of fact, I'm going to miss you, John.